Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Cameron, aka Prince Phantom.
Hello,
Uh,
hello.
hello. Today we are going to be covering Cameron's top feats for the Echo Knight Fighter subclass.
Yeah, the Echo Knight, in my opinion, the best fighter, bar none.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think it's really a contest. I mean,
yeah, I mean, fighter has some good subclasses. It's got some stinkers as well,
yeah,
but
but I mean, this
Echo
one
Knight
like,
stands out.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, the big draw of the class and the thing that the whole thing's built around is the Manifest Echo ability, which allows you to, as a bonus action, create a translucent, dark version of yourself that's like a shadow that is a creature by all definitions, has one hit point, and you can do special things with it. You can attack as though you were in its space. You can teleport by swapping places with it. And you can also make opportunity attacks from its location. You get all of that at level 3, and it's infinite use.
yeah, that's nice.
That's the big thing. You can only have one echo out at a time, but you can create
What?
as many of them as you want.
Yeah, when they disappear. Um,
Yeah.
isn't there like something in the later levels where you can have more than one?
Yes, at level 18. So you're not seeing that for a very long time. At level 18, though, you can create 2 of them.
Okay,
So,
cool.
so yeah, that is the big draw. You also, along with it, get Unleash Incarnation, which allows you to make a couple of extra attacks throughout the course of the day. It's just nice, just gravy. You can eventually start using your Echo as sort of a familiar, being able to see through its eyes, and you can scout with it. It can, at 10th level, take attacks for you, which is really nice.
Mhm.
At 15th level, when it dies, you get temporary hit points. And like I said, at level 18, you can get 2 echoes out at once.
Cool.
So that's the very basic rundown of the subclass. You guys have actually already done a video on the subclass, so I won't spend too much time on
Yeah,
that.
we
Go
have.
check out that video
But
with you and Sam
given,
if you want more details.
yeah, but given this basic information, what this class is, what is the role in the party, and what are we looking for in terms of feats?
Yeah, so the role of the Echo Knight is strange. Obviously, all fighters are here to deal damage, right?
Yeah,
That's their big role. Single target damage as much as possible all the time. And fighters are good at that. The Echo Knight brings a little bit extra. It can bring a little bit of defense and a little bit of enemy, not necessarily control, but hassle for
yeah,
the enemy to deal with. Because these echoes are a real threat to the enemy, and through smart play, will be a real threat to the point where enemies are going to have to attack them. And any attack that's going to an echo is not going to your party.
yeah.
And
That's
that's really good.
that's a wasted attack, and you can pop up a new echo
Yeah,
very
the
next
next
round.
turn. Yeah. So, with that being said, that means our bonus action is going to be accounted for very frequently, right?
Yeah.
So, it takes a bonus action to create an echo. Most of the time, your echo will die during the course of a round. Most of the time.
No
So,
sweat.
yeah, it's not a problem. It just means our bonus action is going to be accounted
Yeah.
for. So the typical thing that I recommend for a lot of fighters to do is to grab a bonus action attack feat. The crossbow expert if you're going to play ranged, or polearm master if you're going to play melee. So really, those aren't a super high priority for us. In fact, I normally recommend fighters to play at range because it's just safer. You deal more damage on average, depending on a couple of certain factors. Easier to pick targets. You're not stuck in place. There's a lot of benefits to playing at range. Well, the Echo Knight fighter gets to play with melee weapons at range
Yeah.
because they get attack from their Echo space. Now, there's a couple of rules regarding that. The Echo can only end its turn within 30 feet of you. And I say end its turn, it acts on the same turn as you do. So you can't end your turn with your echo being more than 30 feet away from you. It'll disappear if you do that. However, over the course of your turn, you can have your echo move out of that 30-foot range, make attacks, and then move back into that 30-foot range, and it will still survive the round. So this allows us to play a melee character that plays at range. So I actually think you should lean into that instead of playing a ranged fighter with a bow or something,
It's
because there's
nice
a
to have a fighter that is encouraged to fight melee.
yeah, well, there's some benefits to that as
Yeah.
well, and we're going to talk about a couple of those things here. So with that being said, my first feat recommendation, of course, obviously, is Great Weapon Master.
Okay, good.
Obviously, if we're going to play melee, that's the path we're going to choose. And normally alongside it, I would recommend Polearm Master. Now, Polearm Master might still be something you consider for this character, but not nearly to the highest priority that you would consider it for a normal fighter. Because, like I said, our bonus action is going to be accounted for most of the time, and most of the reason you're taking Polearm Master is for the bonus action attack.
Yeah.
So, with that, with Great Weapon Master, and only having to take Great Weapon Master, that frees us up a little bit. You know, we're not so feat constrained on the first couple of ASIs, which is nice. And it also means that Echo Knights can afford to not be variant humans if they want to. You can wait until level 4 to get a feat and not feel horrible. So that's good. Now, with picking Great Weapon Master, what that means is we can benefit from a couple of different feats that a ranged character couldn't. Specifically, the two that I want to talk about are Sentinel first, and also the Crusher feat. Let's talk about Sentinel first. Okay. So with the Echo, we're allowed to make opportunity attacks from the Echo space. So if we are standing 30 feet away from the enemy, and our Echo is... Well, obviously, if the enemy knows anything at all about what's going on right now, they're going to want to ignore the Echo and come attack us, right?
Sure.
If it's just a wild beast, they'll probably attack the Echo and then come attack us. But a lot of times, enemies are going to be smart enough to know that you're the one that's causing this to happen and they want to kill you. So Sentinel allows us to make that opportunity attack from the Echo space and force the enemy to stay in melee with the Echo. Now they're stuck there. They can kill the Echo if they want, but they're still stuck there.
Are they stuck there even if they kill the Echo?
Yeah, because all Sentinel does is it reduces their speed to 0.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, it's not contingent on you being there anymore or anything. So with that, you can lock an enemy down in a location and keep it from advancing on you or your other party members. So I would recommend your first two feat selections probably be Great Weapon Master and Sentinel.
Yeah, those sound reasonable.
Yeah, Sentinel also has a couple of other benefits. You can make opportunity attacks. I need to go over this again, actually. I don't know if it's actually codified as an opportunity attack. Let me double check. Let's see. Okay, so Sentinel's third bullet point is what I was looking at. It says whenever a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, we are not the Echo, so that doesn't work. So the third bullet point, we can't get an extra attack, an extra opportunity attack by somebody hitting our friend who's next to our Echo, but everything else about Sentinel still works. Because it just says whenever you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, it's still us hitting him. It's still our attack. It's just originating from the Echo space.
Oh, I think there's probably wiggle room there.
That's okay. So here, I'll reread the thing. So whenever you Manifest Echo says whenever you take an attack action on your turn, any attack you make with that action can originate from your space or the Echo space. Still you making the attack, just originating from a different place.
Okay.
So that works. However, Sentinel's third bullet point says when a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, you can use a reaction to make a melee weapon attack against the attacking creature.
Actually, I don't...
that part doesn't work.
Yeah.
But it's okay. That part of Sentinel is not really the reason you take the feat anyway. That's okay.
All right, keep going.
So, yeah, I highly recommend those be the first two feats you pick up, either at first and fourth if you picked a race that gets a feat at level 1, or fourth and sixth because fighters get a feat at level 6. It's great. Outside of that, since our bonus action isn't really available a lot of the times, but sometimes it is. Sometimes your Echo will survive a round, right?
Sure.
It actually has a fairly decent AC of 14 plus your proficiency bonus. So at level 1, that's 16 and scales a little bit as you level up. I should also mention there are ways to make your echo a bit more survivable, specifically through temporary hit points. The echo is a creature and can benefit from temporary hit point granting abilities, such as Inspiring Leader or the Twilight Cleric's level 2 Channel Divinity. There's a lot of ways you can do that. The fighter itself is not actually super well equipped to do this. The fighters are not going to really be able to take 13 charisma to get Inspiring Leader to begin with most of the time.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
It's something that your party members can do
to
help you. And I highly recommend, if you do have party members that are dishing out temporary hit points, have your echo out while they're doing that. I should mention the echoes last until dismissed or destroyed. So you wake up in the morning, summon an echo. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
So since though our bonus action will sometimes be available and sometimes not, I think this is actually a great place to take the Poisoner feat.
Interesting. It's not
where
I expected us to go.
Specifically because the Poisoner feat allows us to apply poison to a weapon as a bonus action, right?
Right.
So sometimes we'll have that bonus action available. Specifically, like think on the first turn of combat, you already have your echo out, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to summon it. So the first turn of combat, we can take that bonus action to apply poison to our weapon and get extra damage that way. Now, you can also do that through Polearm Master. The difference is going to be how readily available are powerful poisons in your game. Because if you can readily get Purple Worm Poison for 12 extra damage, that's going to be a lot more than what Polearm Master's bonus action attack is giving you.
Sure.
If you're just using the base poison that the Poisoner feature gives you, I would go with Polearm Master. So if you've got like a Conjuration Wizard in the party that's giving you all these amazing poisons and stuff, go ahead, take the Poisoner feat, apply it with a bonus action, and you can really hammer out some awesome extra damage that way. Or just take Polearm Master if that's not available. Polearm Master, I should mention, also allows you to make a reaction attack if somebody comes within your space. That, I believe, does not count if something enters your echo's reach, because it's not you.
Yeah.
So that part of Polearm Master, I don't believe works. Commenters, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 99% sure that does not work. So that's another reason why we don't take Polearm Master nearly as highly on this fighter as we would on a normal fighter.
What about, I mean, this is your list, but I was wondering if you got any magic, like, kind of feats on there. Magic Initiate, Fey Touch, Shadow Touch.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, the Echo is kind of doing a lot of the stuff that a lot of those feats do already. Fey Touch, famously gives us Misty Step. Well, we can teleport at will.
Yeah, that's probably not the one you want.
Find Familiar. At level 7, our Echo kind of acts as a familiar. We don't really... Find Familiar still be great to have, certainly. But it's not nearly as high of a priority for us as it would be on a normal fighter.
Right.
Shadow Touch I could recommend because invisibility is great. And, if that's something that you want, I definitely think it fits into the theme of the whole build. Shadow Touch definitely could work. But again, not nearly as high of a priority as it normally would be.
How does invisibility work? If your Echo attacks, does that count as, like, stopping your invisibility?
It's still you attacking.
Yeah.
So yes, it would. Yeah, that's an interesting question, though. Yeah, it's the Echo itself is never what's attacking. You are. If it was that way, that would be a very busted workaround. But sadly, no. So yeah, magic, I mean, you could take the Ritual Caster feat if you want that as part of your build. I always recommend that for marshals because it adds so much out of combat utility to any marshal. But we already have a lot of out of combat utility built right into this subclass. It's one of the strengths of the subclass. This subclass doesn't necessarily... there are other fighter subclasses that pump out more damage, like raw damage.
Right.
But this subclass gives far more utility than any other fighter subclass by a mile. The only thing that can even come close to competing with this is the Eldritch Knight, and that's because the Eldritch Knight gets spells.
Yeah.
So we are actually mimicking a lot of spellcasting with our abilities, which is honestly where I think more marshals should be. like mimicking the power of spellcasting. Like, I mean, think about it this way: wizards can't infinitely teleport, can they?
No,
We can. That's a cool thing for a fighter to have, right?
absolutely, yes.
Like that's the direction of design that I wish we went more often. Funny enough to think that the Echo Knight wasn't even designed by the normal WotC designers. It's designed by Matthew Mercer. So not to say that everything Matthew Mercer has made has been perfect. Definitely has not. Got some problems with some other stuff, but this I like. So yeah, that's kind of the suite of offensive feats that I would recommend. In terms of
You mentioned
defensive,
you
yeah, go
mentioned
ahead.
Crusher.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Sorry. Thank you. I think Crusher is easily the best of the three damage type feats, and I think it really works well with this character in particular because we can push people that extra 5 feet while we are at range. So, if we are threatening somebody up against our wizard casts a wall of fire, okay, well, it's kind of dangerous for us to be that close to that wall of fire to push them into it, right? There's some things that can happen there. We can get grappled and
Sure.
dragged into it. Like I like to say, oh yeah, just walk right up to them and push them into the wall of fire. That works a lot of the time, but sometimes it can backfire on you. Well, if you're 30 feet away,
Yeah, and you let your
a
echo
lot
show.
less. Yeah, it's a lot less risk. So that extra 5 foot push provided by Crusher, I think is great. You can. This is a character that can very effectively use a maul. If you don't want to go with Polearm Master, you get a 2d6 bludgeoning weapon. More people should use mauls. They're really cool. And I think Crusher also you get that extra bonus if you crit. Everybody gets advantage on the attacks. That's cool. But really, what we're taking it for is the 5 foot push, and it also increases your strength or con. And this fighter subclass loves increasing their Constitution modifier because a lot of their abilities actually key off of their Constitution modifier.
And
So
I mean, if as long as you're encouraging people to be in melee all the time, then more hit points is always good.
yeah, that too, of course. And we hopefully are actually avoiding melee a lot of the times. So
That's right. The whole reason for this is because the echo is doing the
yeah,
melee stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
All
this
right, that's
is
true.
so I'd like to talk real quick here, and I'll say this: my last feat recommendation, and this is a defensive option, is resilient wisdom, because as is always with all martials, don't get mind controlled. It's very bad. This would be very bad to be mind controlled. Now you got two things attacking you.
Sure.
So, yeah, the last thing I want to say about all of this, and then just kind of in line with what this subclass is trying to do and how these feats improve it. The big thing with the martial caster divide that so many people are talking about right now is, oh well, wizards and spellcasters are super powerful, right? They got all these amazing powerful things, but they can only do them a limited number of times, right?
Yeah, but I mean, at the higher levels, those limitations don't
Correct.
really feel like very
Correct.
limiting.
Yes. Yes. I'm just setting up the argument.
Yeah.
And they say that fighters and marshals have infinite resources, right? They can always take the attack action.
Yeah.
Well, true, but fighters and marshals do have another resource, and it's called HP. And if you're playing in melee, you find that you run out of HP a lot faster than the people that are playing at ranged. It's one of the reasons that I highly recommend most marshals to stay at range, because you will die. I don't care how high your AC is. AC does not scale with monsters to hit rolls. It just doesn't. Most PCs, unless you get crazy magic items, cap out at about 20. Monster to hit rolls can be plus 15, 16, and it doesn't take that long to get to that point either. So by staying at range, by playing at range and doing these things with the Echo, you are a lot safer. It's much better. You actually can be that fighter that is up all day, ready to go, doesn't care how many in combat encounters we have. You can be that reliable source of damage for your party. And I think by doing this, by staying at range, by taking these feats, by taking Sentinel, and keeping the enemies away from you and your party, you'll reduce a lot of damage that you and the rest of your party takes.
How about this one?
Yeah, go
This
ahead.
is this is not a feat I'd normally recommend to anyone.
I'd
A
love to
feat,
hear it.
it might be interesting here. Grappler.
No.
No.
So, but let's get into why, right?
All right, here's what I'm thinking. Like, all right, now you're playing ranged.
Right?
You cast your echo out to the guy you want to attack. Can the echo grapple him?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, never mind. That's
So
all down the toilet now.
the very specific wording of the manifest echo. When you take the attack action on your turn, any attack you make with that action can originate from your space or the echoes.
Okay.
Now, when you take the attack action, yes, you can replace one of those attacks with a grapple, but now it is a grapple. It's no longer an attack.
Right.
So you're using the attack action, but it's not an attack anymore. This specifies you have to take the attack with the attack action. Yes, that's confusing. Yes, this game is horribly worded, and I am sorry. But it's a good thought. I appreciate that.
All right, but it wouldn't work the other way either because, like, all right, if you grappled the creature and had your echo shoot him, still, you've already used your attack action to do the grappling. That attack action is gone. All right, forget all that.
Yeah, and also the fact that the grappler feat is just bad.
Your time.
The grappler feat is just bad anyway. So,
I understand, but what I had in mind was that the first little bullet point there says you have an attack, you have advantage on attack rolls against a creature you were grappling. I was like, all right, well, you're grappling this guy, and now you can attack him. But yeah, doesn't work.
No, it's a good thought, and I appreciate trying to find uses for terrible, horrible feats that never deserve to be on anybody's character sheet ever. Good job. Good.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. Doesn't work, but I like the thought. And honestly, when I was making this list myself, I did think, can I grapple from the echo space? Mm-hmm. I had to think through that, so you're not alone. Anything else catch your eye?
No, I was just looking at things like
any other dreams I can shoot down for you?
Just looking at Gift of the Metallic Dragon, but that
all the gifts are pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
all of the Gift of the Dragons are good.
Particularly good for this?
No, I don't think Gem Dragon's repel telekinetic reprisal works. Nope, because it's when you take damage, so that doesn't work. Which I mean you can still take the feat and it would still work when creatures hit you. In fact, actually, I kind of like Gem Dragon actually because typically you're going to stop somebody at your echo space, and then they're going to run 30 feet to hit you, and then if they hit you, you bounce them back 10 feet, and assuming they have a 30-foot movement speed, which most monsters do, they can't move back to you to finish their source of attacks. So actually, I kind of like that one.
Well, if you do have something that makes your echo a little stronger and prevents it from getting hit or something, telekinetic might be neat because if you've got the crusher and you're already shoving him a little bit, and your bonus action is available, you could shove him a little bit more.
Yeah, that's another great option for a bonus action. You could push a creature a total of 10 feet or 2 creatures 5 feet.
Let's see. And I mentioned the hit points earlier. I mean, you're attacking melee at range, so you're trying not to get hit. But what about tough? I mean,
Tough's fine. Tough's always good.
You're a fighter. You're getting a bunch of feats.
That's true. You do get, I think it's 2 more feats than everybody else, and you get them at low level.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But yeah, that's basically what I have. Tough, obviously good. Lucky, another generator.
Lucky, yeah.
So if you want to take those, go ahead. Great higher level options.
But yeah, I mean, the Echo Knight is pretty good on its own.
If you told me to play a fighter today, it's what I would play.
Yeah, probably me too.
Like easy pick. Don't even have to think about it. So.
All right. Well, I guess you got anything else to say?
That's all I got, and I think my daughter's waking up too, so I should probably go take care of that.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, that was Echo Knight. Thank you, Cameron, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think down in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.
If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it, a gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.